Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God!
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrestling. I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
Doing good, sir. Had to get my car fixed today. Cost me a couple $100, but you know, it's like I need my car. So
a couple hundred's a lot cheaper than a new car. So
yeah.
We can always put it that way. So
yeah,
you know, on there. But speaking about troubles, Vince McMahon is another one. No shocker to no one, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of news. We got good news and very bad news.
Right. Let's start with the bad because it literally is right off the presses. This was released today.
Yeah.
So Vince McMahon has been I believe it's one of the same women that came forward for the first allegations about basically him giving a bunch of gifts and all this other stuff. So this one. This past one, I was going to make sure we get the timeline correct. So you can stop me as I go through the timeline if we need to update it or I'm getting something wrong. Because with legal stuff, I want to be as factual as I possibly can without jumping to getting something wrong. So basically, he got sued because she was for hush money to keep her under wraps. She signed NDAs, but she was like, "Screw that!" And then she got fired, right? So she got fired. So she was like, "Screw that!" Right?
From what I'm reading, it's not. It was not just screw it. It's she says that they had an agreement. She signed an NDA and was paid $3 million to go away. But she says that Vince violated the terms of the agreement, and that's why she's suing.
Okay, so that was kind of the first thing, and then Vince ended up. This was after he forced himself back into the WWE, right? Because he was already he's already forced out. Then he forced himself back in.
She was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was in 2022 that apparently that he paid her off, and then she agreed to sign an NDA, and got paid a couple $1 million to just go away. But it's like, so yeah, that was around the definitely around this fetches up for when he left because of because it fits with because he left the first time because of allegations that he used company money to shut women up that he had done naughty things with. I've seen like some of the if you go like the whole filing is out there for public view. It's like 60 some pages. I didn't read the whole thing. I just saw some brief pieces of it, including pictures of text messages that she says that Vince sent her, and I'm not going to repeat the details here because it's really really nasty shit.
Yeah, it's very. I couldn't get through the first. I couldn't get through half of the first text message. Like Jesus. So you all go look at it and just take your opinion for what it will. It's not good on that.
Yeah, no, this makes Vince look like people already felt that in a lot of ways he was pretty scummy, but like this confirms like he's like a whole nother level of human scum. If this is all true.
Yeah. So a couple of things, and then also they were in here GIF. Yeah, I agree. That's what I kind of felt like today. Is it just felt I felt hurt. I don't know why. I just felt hurt because this thing that we love so much, and this is just another of why do you like pro wrestling? I'm not defending him, but it's so pivotal in my love of wrestling.
And this isn't like an issue with the wrestling world. It's just that it's something that Vince did, and because of what he has done and represents in the world of pro wrestling for since the 1980s. It sucks. This is why people were happy when he left the first time, and when he forced his way back, in which everyone was like, this is pretty scummy stuff. And but Endeavor and TKO have already probably made preparations for this because they knew that eventually something was probably else going to come up because they put out they had a filing with the FCC listing Vince McMahon as a financial liability. So they've made preparations for something like this in case something like this came up. So yeah, if it's looking like he's guilty, they're going to be like, bye-bye.
Right.
And that's what we all want. We want him to go away. Get him away from WWE for good. Because right now WWE has been the best it's been in a long time and has absolutely nothing to do with Vince McMahon.
No. It
we rejoice for that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of there was what they called it in Louisville basketball. You can look it up. It was called Strippergate. It stuck. It still gets talked about today. But it was an assistant coach, organized parties with there was a book written about it from the escort, but basically with some escorts with the basketball team. And Louisville went on to win the national championship, win a Final Four and a national championship, basically back to back. But NCAA took out all of their banners. But the thing is, what happened sucks. It's terrible and it's ugly and it's gross, and I understand that. But taking a banner, but the play on the court had nothing to do with that. It's kind of the same thing that, to me, is like Vince McMahon is a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad person, according to these allegations and everything else that we've kind of figured before. But it sucks because the product is so good and people that are running the show right now that we know of, right? We still have them. This just came out today that we know of is still putting on an extremely well-produced product. And I feel like this is putting a black cloud over something that's accomplished that has nothing to do with the accomplishments of what we're seeing today.
I know. Yeah, it sucks because it's like wrestling today wouldn't be where it is without what Vince did with the WWF, now WWE, in the 80s when he took over the company from his father, Vince Sr. We wouldn't have had Hulkamania, the Attitude Era, all that stuff without him. It's like that can't be denied. It's like he had a major hand in that. He can't give him all the credit, but it's like he's got a fair share of the credit for all that kind of success. Betting on the right people at the right time. But this is really disturbing stuff. John Laurinaitis is also named in this lawsuit, so he's all it's like he comes off just about as scummy as Vince.
It always seemed that way anyway, even on screen. It just
TKO issued a statement saying that Mr. Mann does not control TKO, nor does he oversee the day-to-day operations of WWE. While this matter predates our TKO executive team's tenure at the company, we take Ms. Grant's horrific allegations very seriously and are addressing this matter internally. AKA, they're already preparing an exit plan to get Vince out.
Yes, and then a counter to that, Vince, in literally like 20 minutes.
Because if they don't do anything, it's going to make them look bad. It's like, and I would be worried that they wouldn't do anything, but the fact that they already, like last year, made it publicly known that they consider Vince a liability is like, they knew something. Either they knew this was going to happen or something like it was going to happen, so they've made preparations. It's like, yeah.
And another thing too,
because the stock, because this is a publicly traded company, stock's going to take a hit from this stuff, and it's like that's a loss of money. And so if these allegations are true, it's just highly likely, and Vince did all the stuff that he's accused of. It's like going to be like, it's like, see ya, goodbye.
Yeah. And so a couple of things to add on to it. Number one, with TKO, who's run by Ari Emanuel, if you know Ari Emanuel, you don't mess with Ari Emanuel. Number one, okay, about that. Number two, Vince, about 25 minutes ago, at least what I've seen, they did release, Vince McMahon's lawyer released a statement saying this lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene, made-up instances that never occurred, and vindictive distortion of the truth. He would vigorously defend himself, which is what a lawyer defending person would say, saying everything's a lie, even though we literally see the text messages. So unless someone was able to really toe back and say, oh no, all these really graphic text messages were made up. And then the lady showed receipts of all the gifts that he was giving her. That was detailed. I don't know if you've looked that up.
It's like, the saying, I got the receipts. She says she's got the receipts. So
yeah, I mean, so far for what I've seen, they're receipts. Unlike the Chris Jericho allegations, it was all hearsay. Where this, we actually see like physical data.
Yeah,
back
like
this up.
Kylie Ray, nobody else came out and specifically said that Jericho did this to me. So it's like this is a whole different bag.
This is a whole different bag.
This is a lawsuit that's filed in court. All the details are on the public record that anyone can view. It's out there. It's like just warning on your eyes and your mind if you want it. It's like because the details are not pretty. I do not it's like read at your own risk.
Yeah, because I tried to read it and I couldn't get through like the
just after I saw what the text message said, I was like, nope, I'm not going any further.
No. But the only thing was where I was like Vince McMahon no short-term text, because that was kind of what it was. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of text messages being as old as he is, because typically older people can't text. So I don't know why I said that. But anyway, and then another thing, John Laurinaitis was named in it, but there was another person that alluded to, and I think it just said a big UFC star that wouldn't sign. They didn't name the person. Now there's a lot of speculation.
That's
who knows. We think it's Brock, just because of the history that they have. I mean, literally when Vince McMahon was basically forced out the first time, Brock left SmackDown. But it's basically saying that a UFC person big in the UFC said that they wouldn't sign unless X, Y, and Z was provided, which were sexual favors were not provided. Now, if it could be Cain Velasquez within the timeline, we don't know. I don't know exactly when this was. I don't know where in the court document it says when exactly these were done. So that's where the timeline comes in, because Cain Velasquez is the only big time UFC person.
The suit, I just looked it up. It says that the trying to have her to do sexual, fuck the talent who was both the UFC WWE talent, occurred in July of 2021.
Okay. I mean, I have to look up, because Cain Velasquez was a fart in the wind as far as his run with WWE, so I wouldn't know that. I mean,
I'll look up. It's like
okay, because I mean, you did have the allegation of, I mean, back in the day, as far as the history with Brock doing some weird stuff, you did have the Terry Runnels, him flashing Terry Runnels back in the day.
He was during the pandemic. It was just before the pandemic, into the pandemic in 2019, 2020.
Okay.
So this happened afterwards.
Huh. Interesting.
That's why people are thinking that it has to be Brock.
Yeah, because like I said, you had that weird incident when he first got in the WWE where he flashed Terry Runnels. Again, that was just something that came out and was said. The other thing about him allegedly basically locking Sable in a hotel room to force her to go on a date with him. Obviously, they're married now, so I don't know what that's all about. But those two things doesn't make this look good on his situation. And all I say is, if he doesn't show up in the Rumble, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
So, because he was definitely going to be showing up in the Rumble.
The rumors were high that he was going to be returning soon, probably in the Rumble, and that people are expecting Brock Gunther at WrestleMania. Which, it's like you said, she doesn't say it was Brock Lesnar. It's like the person is not named, but the evidence makes it that it's Brock highly likely, just because of the date and the timeline, and the fact that it's both a WWE and UFC talent. So it's
Yeah, and what stinks the most is obviously there was some. Stephanie probably found this out somehow, because she forced him out. Then immediately when he came back, she left.
Yeah, she was gone.
So she probably knew something like this was going. When she found out about it,
it also says that Linda knew all about this shit. So it's very interesting that she is not publicly commented on any of this stuff at all.
Yeah,
I probably because she doesn't want to, she, it's like her silence says a lot.
Yeah, and then also too, I mean, they kind of were saying, Triple H wasn't named in it.
Stephanie has not come out to defend her father.
No,
he hasn't said one damn word.
No, and but Triple H wasn't named in it. I'm just kind of go through the higher ups right now. Triple H was named in it. Nothing with the Undertaker, who's basically Vince is his biggest father figure that he has, and he's shown in wherever it was with Vince. there. Like he really, obviously the Vince meme, because he couldn't talk about how much Undertaker means to him, and so I just feel, I hope that he didn't know anything, and like the whole kind of
some of these people probably have no idea. It's like I feel bad for the people that are good people who have been close to Vince over the years, because like this has got to be like a gut punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like someone that they look up to and admire and who's been good to them. It's like it turns out to be a supreme scumbag apparently. So it's like, so we'll see how this goes. It's like not gonna be surprised if Vince's they find a way to get Vince out of the company in the next couple months.
Yeah, and
because if it's looking like he's going to be found guilty, it's like they're going to be like, it's like they gotta do what they gotta do to prevent serious loss of money, especially on the stock market.
Yep, but they've got to do. I mean, obviously, the good news is they forced him out a long time ago before this stuff came out, and he's basically not involved with anything. So this is kind of a quick. Yep.
Like he's in the company, but he doesn't. He's like he was not overseeing the creative control. Triple H is in charge of overseeing WWE with Nick Khan right above him.
Yeah,
and it's like
speaking about old Nicky Khan, because I wish I could go into more about this, but as more detail comes out, we'll go on the Discord and on Ruckus Discord. We will be posting up as stuff as soon as we find out about that stuff, as soon as it comes out. These are it literally just got released today. So I wish we could spend more time on it, but when it comes to legal stuff, we want to not speculate and just tell you what's going on, and then basically give our opinion based off of that, but not just jump to many conclusions. Like I said, it could be Kane, it could be Brock, it could be someone else. Just that's why we don't know. So like I said, if he appears at the Rumble, we know that they probably know that he probably wasn't that guy, or their TKO's willing to risk it, which if they put him in the Rumble and then it comes out later that was him, that's a whole nother can of worms that they just opened.
So it's like it's like I don't want to condemn someone before they're found guilty, but it's like just everything that's happened before, the odds of this being all true are highly likely, and if they are true, then he needs to go to hell.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well said on that. Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. Yeah. There's evil, and then what the hell, man?
Right.
But anyway, like I was saying, moving on to speaking about Nick Khan, he's making moves left and right. And just when you thought it was one thing, he's like, nah, we're going to make it bigger. And WWE, starting in 2025, will be streaming, at least, and we'll get into the foreign, Canada, and all of them. As far as where that's going to be streamed, and Justin will kind of fill you in on that. But basically, long story short, $5 billion deal with Netflix, because Netflix wants to get into the streaming game. Every other streaming service is starting to do that. Amazon's got NFL. Peacock, obviously, they still stream some other live events and things like that through their sites. HBO Max, I think, does soccer. I'm not for sure. HBO,
I think so.
Something like that. So pretty much everything has some type of live streaming service, or provide some live streaming other than Netflix. Here they are with Raw. And
they had to. It makes sense because like when Amazon got the rights to Thursday Night Football for Prime, that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. And that started a cascade effect that's causing other streaming services to air like a lot of live sports. That's why stuff airs on Paramount Plus for the CBS games and some other sports, and then they did the Peacock only playoff games, which drove people nuts. But they got views as numbers came out. It's like we've us and everybody else around has been speculating for months, like where is Raw going to land, and a lot of people, including us, felt that streaming was a very likely landing place, just because of the way that things are changing the landscape. I mean, like cable's not dead, but streamers are trying to get into the sports game and getting like more like live content, and not just like just a library of stuff. And we all thought Amazon Prime was a likely place. I mean, there was the Sports Business Journal thought that Amazon was a highly likely possibility of where Raw could land, and because of where streaming is going and what they're trying to do. And so they were kind of right. It's like Raw's going streaming, except it's not Prime, it's Netflix. So the details are per the press releases that came out this week. The deal is valued at $500 million a year for 10 years. So that's $5 billion.
A lot of zeros.
$5 billion to WWE for Raw to air live on Netflix. Netflix does have, there's an option in the contract for Netflix to opt out after the first 5 years. Also, they have an option to extend the deal for another decade, 10 years, if they're happy. So, depending on how things go, they can either, after 5 years and be like, it's not working. We're gonna part ways here amicably, or if it works out really well for them, they can keep Raw on Netflix for a decade more. Sources say that WWE's deal with Raw for NBC Universal for it to air on USA Network was worth about $250 million to $60 million per year. So basically, they got double the price from Netflix than what they were getting with it airing on USA Network. So under the deal, Netflix will also not only become the exclusive home of Raw in the United States and Canada, the UK, Latin America, and other territories once the deal begins. Okay. More other countries and regions will be added over time. Now, here's the other thing. This is also a big deal. Since WWE moved all their stuff to Peacock for their premium live events and their library of all the TV shows and past pay-per-views and even like old Coliseum home video stuff that was on VHS and DVD. The WWE Network was what people used to access that stuff outside the U.S. Well, that's going to change because Netflix is going to be the home of outside the U.S. where you will be able to watch WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and other major premium live events. They will air outside the United States. They will air on. They will be streamed live on Netflix. So that's huge.
Yeah, because because the WWE Network is shutting down basically at the end of the year, right? And it going exclusively to Peacock basically, like I think like the catalog, like the WWE Network is going to basically be moved on to Netflix. So like for people outside the US who want to access like the WWE library that like we do us. Like me and Josh here in the States, we have a subscription Peacock. If you live outside the United States, you'll access that through Netflix instead. So it sounds like pretty much that they're going to shut down the WWE Network for the time being because Netflix is basically be taking over that stuff to outside the United States. Is it the strike? And the detail hasn't come out, I don't think, but is it the strike of midnight? So like the first Raw in 2025 will air on. Like, is that when it starts exactly?
No, they haven't specifically. Just it's gonna start airing something in January of next year. So 1 year from now.
Okay, so
and also there's a weird thing because the contract for Raw to be on USA Network expires in October. So people are wondering what's going to happen because the contract for Raw on USA ends in October. The Netflix deal doesn't start until January. So there's a gap of time, like what's going to happen. Like, I think they'll probably work out some deal probably with NBC Universal because, they still have a working relationship with WWE anyway because of Peacock and, SmackDown's going to be on USA anyway.
Right.
That they'll probably still air even after the contract expires. Raw will still be on USA until until January when it moves to Netflix.
Okay. And Peacock still has exclusive rights to the premium live events in the US.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Netflix is getting Canada and all that.
Yeah, Netflix is basically the way to watch WrestleMania and the Rumble and other pay-per-views outside the United States will be through Netflix.
Okay.
And that's gigantic for Netflix because like that's going to cause a lot of people to subscribe to Netflix who are wrestling fans outside the United States because it's like that, and it's going to reach more people too.
Can't wait for that premium live event at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I know. That's the fact that Elimination Chamber is going to start at 5 a.m. Eastern time for yours truly here. Not great.
For my time.
Yeah, no, it's like, yeah. I am trying. I'm like trying to figure out if I'm even going to try to get up that early to watch it live. I may sleep in and just watch the replay.
I'm gonna watch the replay because it's kind of money. There was one Money in the Bank that was like super early. It was just a weird time when it was still during the day, but it wasn't that early. But it was still when Damian Priest won it.
Well, that was when it was in London last year, so it started like at 1 in Eastern time in the afternoon here. So it was like midday. But that's not bad, especially on a Saturday. That's not a big deal. 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So this shed earthquakes. Thought people were shocked. Netflix was not mentioned as being a player in this game by anybody.
Not that I remember.
So this is like out of nowhere for just about everybody. It's like, well, what? It's like nobody called. I didn't see anybody call Raw going to Netflix.
No, makes sense when you think about it. But it's always
there was some crazy speculation that Warner Bros. Discovery might take them, or that Amazon Prime was a player, but Netflix, no, not at all. So it's like nobody saw this was kept pretty tight because Sean Ross Sapp and Meltzer and everybody else, they had no clue this was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking about Sean Ross Sapp, and we'll get to the Seth thing, but I do want to say Nick Khan, ever since they hired him, he's
paid the dividends.
He's because I remember him getting so much crap, which I think is more Vince when he kept releasing wrestlers, like big time wrestlers, like the Bray Wyatts and the Samoa Joes and stuff like that, and people kept blaming Nick Khan. I'm like, I don't think it's Nick Khan.
No,
in which we found out it's not Nick Khan.
It was Vince.
Yeah. And so they were releasing those guys, and now, but Nick Khan was more of the making sure everything's good, and then also the product placement stuff, like we were talking about. This match is brought to you by this. Yes, it was over the top, but it brought a lot of money.
He's worked some serious magic for WWE that have a lot of money, and this deal is like the biggest one yet. It's cool. Everyone thought like SmackDown deal with it going back to USA. And leaving Fox was lucrative. This it's like damn, dude. And I didn't see his interview. He was on Pat McAfee talking about it. I didn't see that, but it's like he said that there's no plans for it to leave Monday night, and I don't think it probably will because people are just kind of used to it. But also the other thing besides the pay-per-views documentaries, WWE documentaries will also be on Netflix for people outside the United States. Also, SmackDown and NXT will also go through Netflix for outside the United States.
Outside, okay. So we for US, it's all still on Peacock as far as documentaries and SmackDown, obviously NXT. Even with it being on CW, it's still going to be on Peacock, right? Yeah,
exactly. It's like the episodes will still be uploaded to Peacock. It's just that it's like they'll air on CW first. So yeah, everything WWE is going to be on Netflix outside the United States.
Okay. And then the other thing I want to touch on with Nick Khan, I don't know if you saw where he appeared when he was young. He appeared went on Wheel of Fortune, won about $20,000, used that to get his business degree to bring him to this point. So that's a pretty cool little nuggets. I don't know the rest of the in between or what led him to it, but that's what they showed him. Young Nick Khan with Nick on there and being but Pat Sajak was talking to him or whatever. And I guess on the show I didn't see I just saw where it said Nick Khan won this much money and he used that money to get his degree.
This is a big huge change for. So we're very interested to see how it's going to work. I heard that from what I read is they're still gonna film Raw like it still has commercials because there's still it's still an ad tier at Netflix. So like people on the ad tier will get commercials like you would if you were watching on USA Network currently. But for like person like me who is on my Netflix tier, I have no ads. I'll get to see all the action that's going on in the ring. the stuff that you don't see when it's on commercial break.
A lot of headlocks.
A lot of headlocks.
lot of headlocks.
But hey, it's like I get to see more action. I get to see more of the match, so it's like I'm good with that.
Does any indication of them going to, because of this and with the no ads and everything, any indication of them going to 2 hours?
No. Everyone's keeping their fingers crossed that it'll go back down to 2 hours. Because it went to 3 hours just because of the ad revenue from the commercials, and since that's not really a factor anymore, we'll see. I know that Triple H has said that has he admitted, Raw being a 3 hour show is rough for the booking. So, fingers crossed that when it moves to Netflix, it'll go back down to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
And here's the fun part: if you go over, it don't matter.
Exactly. It's like they don't have to worry about network overrun. It's like
no. It's so that's I guess the cool. You would think it won't matter if they go over. Obviously,
people with DVRs won't have to worry about like, oh god, the overrun, like they are with like if the overrun is not like set up ahead of time, like with NXT proper, they usually do that pretty well. Although TK with Dynamite has not been so, and that's really frustrated some people. It's like so. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's pretty cool there.
Like I said, I've had Netflix for a long time, so this is not like a big deal for me. But I understand why some people are not happy that it's going to a stream service that they may not have and that they have to sign up for it. But hey, money talks.
Yeah, and also this is the new cable, guys. It's everyone's predicted this a long time ago when other streaming services got in the game, not just Netflix, and started getting other content and stuff. And then the reason Best Buy, and if you don't think it's a thing, ask Best Buy, because they just got rid of all their.
I'm not happy.
No, I don't like that at all. But what are you going to do? If it's a money loss for him, it's a money loss for him. So
yeah, I'm as a physical media guy who loves owning his movies and stuff, was not happy about that.
Yeah, as a person who still collects physical media and doesn't have a DVD or Blu-ray player, because I just like physical media. I just like having my physical media and getting the seasons of stuff that were just really good. I just like the fact that at any point I'll go get my $2 Blu-ray player, because by the time I get one, it'll probably be that cheap. I can still pop the Batman animated series in, or any other physical media, and don't have to worry about it going off HBO or something like that. So it's always good. Anyway, moving on to speaking about moves in the TKO world, I will go to now owner of The Rock, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, who is now a board member, correct, on TKO.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, this was also surprising. This came out the same day about the Netflix deal. Apparently they wanted The Rock on the board of directors for TKO, and he accepted. And as part of the deal, he has the full copyright ownership of the Rock.
That's a big
WWE
deal.
no longer has the Rock copyright. Dwayne Johnson owns it now, so he can use it for when he does movies and anything else he does outside of WWE.
Merchandise, baby.
Yep.
Can't.
This is a very interesting move. I saw some people stupidly say like, "Oh God, he's on the board of directors now. Yeah, he's totally gonna kick Cody out and take over the WrestleMania spot." It's like you really think The Rock is that stupid to do that? It's like, it's like he's publicly stated how much he's a fan of Cody Rhodes, and Cody's publicly said he's not worried about Rock stealing his spot.
Right.
So
do you think, just looking at the business standpoint of him being on the board of directors, the TKO wanted him to be a part of it? Do you think that they wanted to be a part of it as far as or do you think they're going to be having a stake in XFL, which merged with the American football?
I don't know.
Whatever the heck that was.
I don't know if it's about that, but more about just that, because of how much he loves WWE, it's like he wouldn't be where he is today if it wasn't for his WWE career. It's like he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to go to Hollywood and become a star like he's become. it probably he just it was more just like they want someone who's got a good reputation to be part of it, and someone who is from the business, someone they can trust, and so, and especially what's going on with Vince, it's like then it's like, so yeah, I was kind of like, well, that's interesting, but didn't expect it, but it kind of makes sense business wise why they want to do why they offered it to him, and he accepted, especially with gaining the full control of the Rock as his own copyright. So it's like for him to use as he sees fit. That's pretty big.
Yeah, and I just think it's real petty if they're thinking The Rock, who is is arguably the biggest movie star on the planet under Tom Cruise, of that the only reason he wants to do this is to headline another WrestleMania against Roman Reigns.
Like you think that he's doing it just so he can be able to be like, sorry, Cody, I'm taking your spot at WrestleMania. Like he knows optics, he knows stuff. He's not stupid. It's like do you think he's forgotten about how he tried to endorse Roman when Roman won the Rumble several years ago? And despite him trying to endorse Roman, they booed him and The Rock out of the effing building.
Yeah,
because they that was during the Vince, will you stop shoving Roman down our fucking throats? We don't want him.
It wasn't until Roman's like, Vince, just let me gosh damn go heel, and then you have what's in front of you now. Now, granted, his obviously
I'm tired of the tribal chief time. It's like it's like so but anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. No, it's a really interesting time.
And also, people thought, and also we'll talk about NXT. Rock Starter has now a much more prominent position on NXT television. People want a coincidence?
Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not. I saw the show. She was fine. She does fine for what she's doing. She's obviously super green in the ring. You know how many authority figures there were that didn't even see any, like Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call him.
You could be
John
involved
Morrison.
in the wrestling business and not wrestle. I mean, like there's a room for managers and like people on like look at Heyman. Look at Stokely Hathaway. Robert NXT has Robert Stone. It's like they're still managers.
Yeah, it's like the thing is like Regal was more. No, I grew up with Regal being more of a little lackey, and but even though he's like one of the best technical wrestlers ever alive, but I knew him more because of how he was presented on TV when I was growing up with wrestling as more of like authority figure / lackey, or the besmirched era, as I would say, of the Regal's time. And then he goes to NXT and does all that stuff. But he's one of the best technical wrestlers you could have around. Yep. But I just knew him more as that presentation. So yes, it definitely nepotism. If you don't think nepotism has a thing, ask Randy Orton. Like he was there. The Rock but the thing is, they still had to earn their stripes, and they're still one of the greatest to ever do it. But if you don't think that you were able to, like, if it wasn't for The Rock being Rocky Johnson's son, Pat Patterson would not have come down there to see him do his thing. Right. Three weeks into him wanting to be a wrestler. Yeah. It wouldn't have happened. So, yes.
Plus, The Rock was an important part of why the Attitude Era succeeded and how WWE was able to survive, WCW then during the Monday Night Wars. It's like he was a big part of that, Stone Cold and the whole, the Vince McMahon stuff and a lot of other things, So it's like he took WWE to big heights, and so I don't have a problem with it. It's like if it means good things for the company, especially hopefully in the near future where Vince is finally gone for good, and then I'm cool.
Yeah, so far so good as far as the product is concerned. But there's that was I've never heard that before. That was a good one. If you don't know, he's talking about The Rock.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on, a couple of nuggets. Like we kind of speculated as far as Seth Rollins. We speculated this last week.
Yeah.
Kind of came to what it happens. It sucks, but like we talked about before, I was like, look, I'm no doctor. I'm no medical physician, but I've known a lot of athletes that have come back from MCLs really quickly compared to an ACL.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And the promo that he cut on Raw kind of backed that.
Yeah.
So
on Raw, it's like we're not gonna go into too much detail, but on Raw, Seth opened the show and confirmed that he partially tore his MCL and his meniscus, and that he's got to have surgery. And doctors told him it could be like a 3 to 4 month recovery time, but he plans on being back sooner than that so that he will be able to perform at WrestleMania like he wants to. And if things go well, that is certainly possible. He also was recently quoted in an interview just the other day that he hopes to be back to 100% within like the next month and a half.
Yeah, which I've known some people with MCLs. It was like you didn't even know they were injured.
Yeah, it's like so fingers crossed that he can still be able to main event at Mania, because
we want that Punk match so bad.
He's like Punk, he's never had the opportunity to main event. It's like, yes, there was the cash in, but he was not really scheduled for that match. The cash in was a surprise when he cashed in his Money in the Bank during Brock Roman main event, and won the title with the cash in to steal the century, as they call it. Mm-hmm. Other times that he was supposed to be in the main event, either plans changed or he got hurt.
Yeah.
So like originally they were thinking of it because like him and Brock in 2019 was a big feud over the Universal title, and you thought it would that might headline the show, but when Becky blew up as the man, and it's like they couldn't deny that, and so that became they gave the woman the main event slot back when it was just one night, and they were the opener, and they had Kofi versus Daniel Bryan as like in the middle of the card for that. So it was like, so this is why that's why I like that Mania's gone to 2 nights, because it gives more opportunity because like each night is considered a main event slot.
Yeah, so you go on last on a big card. I don't care if it's 2 nights. You go last on a big card. That is a main event. So you still have that. I mean,
so this throws a lot more like intrigue, even more intrigue into the Rumble with Steph's status, whether he'll be able to be ready for Mania or not, about who's going to win, because everyone felt that was the clear path was Punk and Seth for the title of Mania. It's like they'll probably still do it if they think Seth can go. If they don't think he can go, then they're gonna have to do something with the title, and who Punk winning the Rumble is not a guarantee.
No. Then the last thing here, Kazuchika Okada. For those who don't know who he is, get to know him, because he's one of the best wrestlers living today. He's arguably the greatest Japanese New Japan wrestler.
One of the greatest wrestlers ever come out of Japan.
Yes. Now TNA screwed the pooch way back when, because they had him do a Kato gimmick. It was terrible. And so he hated TNA, but he was just on their whatever the big pay-per-view was, and he was saying I love TNA and all that stuff. And he had a obviously match, but now he is a free agent, and basically it's another bidding war of 2024. I know it's kind of a cliche, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it keeps happening. So I think the way and the rumors were, when we speculated, when it was kind of come up last show, we're like, it seems we were talking. I was like, it seems AEW, because he already has that relationship, kind of like the Will Ospreay. But Hunter and Sean will not go down without a fight. And once they made this Netflix deal, they were like, all right, now we got some money. Let's go get Okada. And there were some rumblings. And as soon as this deal was struck, then a lot of people were starting to come out saying Okada to WWE. And the thing that stinks about this whole thing is they're wanting to take him to the Performance Center. What does he have to prove?
Yeah, like the rumors swirled that he was going to go to WWE and that he was going to start NXT, and everyone was like, "Wait, what? What?" Look, it's like this is a big deal. He's if you're in the wrestling, if you're a wrestling hardcore junkie like we are, it's like especially if you follow Japanese wrestling, who Okada is and how great he is. He's a legend in New Japan for a reason. So the fact that he's decided to leave New Japan is very interesting. Everyone feels that it's probably because of the money, that that he can be able to, at this point in his career, he can be able to make more money here in the United States for either in WWE or AEW. It's going to be like TNA is like a long shocking shot that's like that has like really no chance. Yeah, it's going to be either WWE or AEW he's going to go to. Now, of course, AEW has the edge because of their work, how their relationship with New Japan. I mean, look at what's with Will Ospreay and everything, and a lot of the New Japan stars that they done the Forbidden Door Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and also people like Suzuki and others, Ibushi and others, working in AEW at different times. But don't count out WWE, because not only they got the money, but Okada is on record in saying that he would want to be on WrestleMania.
And really, like I said, I think he has the better relationship. And as far as how the plans align, it seems more likely for AEW based off of what's done in the past.
Yeah.
But as a wrestling fan, I kind of want to see him on WWE.
Me too.
With that presentation and Okada being Okada, because Nakamura's great. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't Okada. Like, Okada's different.
Oh yeah,
it's just it's the same thing. Where like, well, there's Nakamura, but then there's Okada and Will Ospreay. As far as the New Japan,
it's like everyone had high hopes for Nakamura, but because of Vince, it didn't reach that. Because after he crushed it in NXT, everyone thought he was going to be great on the main roster, and then after he won the Rumble. But then he lost to AJ at WrestleMania for the title, and it's like it was a slow slide into the mid card after that. And it's like, and hasn't really done much else. I mean, yeah, he's won titles and he's and stuff like that, but even King of the Ring for a bit, it's like he took the King of the Ring crown from Corbin for a while, was King Nakamura, but it was just about the booking with Vince, with Triple H in charge and not Vince anymore. Okada has the chance to really be booked well and shine if he comes to WWE. So it's like, I still give the edge to AEW just because of the working relationship with New Japan and stuff, and what it's like everything. But like, don't be shocked if he just goes to WWE instead.
Yeah, but like I said, personally, I want to see Okada in WWE because I just want to see Okada in that presentation. Where I've seen him in AEW, kind of.
You mentioned him and Nakamura at Mania would be an incredible match.
Well, the thing is like, as soon as Triple H is taken over, I mean, look at all the Japanese wrestlers that have.
Yeah, look who's come back. It's like he got Kairi to come back, Kairi Sane to come back, and she's getting prominently featured. It's like, Io Sky has gotten a hell of a push as women's champion ever since she cashed in Money in the Bank on Bianca at SummerSlam, and she's still champion. She's gotten treated well. It's like it's a whole different world. Like, and Triple H is bringing other people, like he's reaching into Lucha. He got Dragon Lee to come up. Which was a big deal, and he's been booked pretty well so far. So it's like, it's gonna be very interesting what happens, where Okada's gonna land. So it's like,
I don't know. I'm just glad that I can see weekly Okada matches and not have
unless they do like work out a deal with New Japan, he would not be able to show up in the Rumble because his contract expires at the end of this month, on the 31st, and the Rumble's this Saturday. So it's like no, it's like the only way he'd be able to show up in the Rumble is if New Japan it okays it. It's like kind of like how they allowed Tony to talk to Ospreay even though his contract with New Japan doesn't expire. Didn't expire until the start of this year. They still allowed him to, because of the working relationship, allowed him to talk to Ospreay about coming to AEW. So it's like would it be cool if he showed up at the Rumble? Yeah, people lose their friggin' mind. But that's not going to happen unless New Japan. That would only happen if he's coming to WWE and New Japan is like says it's okay because.
I don't expect him to go to the Rumble. If he comes to WWE, I expect him just to show up at WrestleMania, just because, or maybe Elimination Chamber, maybe. But I would expect
I would probably save him probably as like do it like we did with Cody. Like when Cody came back, people the word was that Cody was coming back, and then it's like, and then they had the like stuff like I don't care who I want somebody, and they're like, well, you're gonna get a mystery opponent at WrestleMania, and it turned out to be Cody, and everyone lost their minds.
Yeah. And I expected that because your Elimination Chamber, it's still gonna be a fine crowd, obviously in Australia, but it's WrestleMania. It's great. It's just makes sense.
Just thinking about like imagine Okada versus Gunther. Oh God, oh God, it's like just some of the matches, that dream matches you could have if he goes to WWE. Dear God.
Yeah, because he's just a different level. It's hard to explain, but he's just a different level of wrestler. Because I'm here watching him, even with when Adam Cole got hurt, between all of him and Switchblade. But he's got an aura about him too. That's just different.
He does. He's got a presence. It's like
yeah, and he has the coolest that black light where it went over his gear. That was really cool. Last thing I want to say, congratulations to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley of being on the obviously Cody, but it's more of, I think they were the first. No, Becky was on there. What?
Yeah, Becky's been on the cover before. It's there's never been two women on the cover.
Right.
Becky shared the cover with Roman a couple years ago. So, but they're sharing a cover together for the deluxe edition, and then the regular edition has Cody on it. Congrats to all of them.
Mm-hmm. On well earned. If y'all want to look up the video of Triple H telling them as they're just doing some promo stuff and their reaction, it's a pretty cool video. So you can watch that. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little nugget there for the news. Anything else?
The only other thing was there's word that Kevin Patrick is out as SmackDown lead announcer. That maybe he's like been fired altogether. Nothing's been confirmed yet. There's just reports, so it's like, so don't be surprised if Coles works SmackDown tomorrow with Corey Graves instead of him. So
I thought Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that.
If he did, then I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll look it up. So anyway, we'll go to switch here to SmackDown. All right.
Yeah, you can look it up while the. Hey gang, here I am for this week's recap of Friday Night SmackDown. The show opened with the contract signed for the WWE Universal title match Fatal 4-Way. Everyone came out except Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman came out and said that Roman was refusing to come out and sign the contract. Nick Aldis responded by telling Paul Heyman that if Roman did not sign the contract by the end of tonight's show, he would strip him of the title, and AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight would battle to decide the new champion after it's been vacated. Heyman didn't appreciate that either. AJ Styles and LA Knight traded verbal shots back at each other, and it led to them fighting and brawling right out of the ring. While they were fighting, Orton went over to Heyman and told him that he's going to reintroduce Reigns to the RKO at the Royal Rumble. Then we had a six-man tag action. Santos Escobar and Angel and Humberto, the new Legado del Fantasma, took on the LWO of Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Carlito, and Fantasma came out on top on this one. Keep the feud going. Then we had Pretty Deadly taking on Tyler Bate, and finally, after all this time, Butch is no more, and Pete Dunne is back to who he was, the Bruiserweight. Came out full entrance and attire, just like he did back in his NXT days. And he and Tyler Bate once again took care of Pretty Deadly for another win as a tag team. Then we had a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance defeated Alba Fire and El Sadon, the Unholy Union. After Damage Control was watching from ringside, and after the match, Asuka and Kairi Sane got in the ring, holding the tag team title belts, taunting the champions, and the two had words. And it was announced that Asuka and Kairi, the Kabuki Warriors, would be taking on Cade and Quintana for the titles next week on SmackDown after the Rumble. And then we had supposed to be a match between LA Knight and AJ Styles, but ended up being a no contest because, Bloodline once again attacked. Jimmy Uso caused a distraction, and then Soul Skull went in and laid both guys out, giving both of them Samoan spikes. Now, he was scheduled to face Randy Orton in the main event, and so after he beat them up, he just waited in the wing for Randy to just come out and face him, which he did. And Randy Orton defeated Solo Sikoa in the main event with the RKO. In the aftermath, Norton Styles got in the ring, and Randy hit both of them with RKOs. But then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns snuck up on Orton and hit him with Superman punch. Roman then went over and grabbed the contract from Nick Aldis, signed it. He wanted to give Orton a spear, but Randy countered the spear with an RKO, taking Roman out to close out the show. And so, build to the Roman continues. That's all that happened this week, pretty much, on Friday Night SmackDown.
So, Pretty Deadly's dead now, right?
Hopefully
they're being booked right now. I don't think they're in trouble. I don't. Yeah.
No, I'm not too worried.
It's more pumping up.
I think,
or now Bruiser Pete Dunne. It's more pumping up him.
Dude, it's like the internet rejoiced when he came out as Pete Dunne. Full bruiserweight outfit. I was just like, thank you, Triple H. Thank you.
Yeah. And I love the little segments that they've done with Tyler Bate, basically telling him is like, you're not Butch. You're not this whatever that is. Like he was like, I know you.
Bruiserweight mother effer.
Right. Remember when we took over all of in UK. Yeah. Everywhere we went, we laid that's because of the Bruiserweight, not because of Butch.
Yeah.
And whatever it was. So that was a really good segment there. But this was kind of paint by numbers to me.
Yeah, it was like an okay SmackDown. It wasn't like mind blowingly good. It was more just more build to the Rumble.
Yeah. So
I mean, good promo work from everybody involved in the main event stuff. It's like I like the pot shots that AJ and LA Knight were throwing at each other.
LA was great in that opening segment.
Yep. And he's still over people.
Yeah.
You can hear, man. It's like
yeah.
Yeah. I love how Orton was just like the cool, like just sitting back. He's like, all right, you guys want to, piss each other off and beat each other up? Fine. And I love how he just slowly walked over to Heyman, grabbed him by the tie to pull him in close. That was great stuff. I also like all this is starting a story like, Roman, you better sign this contract or I'm going to strip your ass of the title. And, it's like, I like how Soul's trying to earn Roman's favor. It's like he attacked AJ and LA Knight and then tried to take out Randy, but Randy's like, I got an RKO for you, pal. Also, that I love how Roman attacked him. It was all like, all right, fine, I'll sign the contract. But then he went to spear Orton and he countered the spear with the RKO. That was so smooth. It was beautiful.
Oh, dude, it was so smooth. Have they announced the Kabuki Warriors versus?
That's official for next next week.
And then I don't know if it was during the show, but I know with just to kind of coincide with it, they did.
It's that week.
And then they did with the video of Logan Paul and Kevin Owens get into it at the Performance Center today.
Oh yeah, that's great.
They obviously confirmed the match anyway for the Royal Rumble as well. So that United States title match will be at the Royal Rumble. And also too, when I was trying to look up about the announcer. With Sean Ross Sapp, he did confirm that Logan Paul's extended his.
Yeah. No, the match is happening this week. This week. I was misthinking. So, they announced it as the match happening next week, which is now tomorrow. So,
which makes sense because you need all the women you can in the Rumble. Even though you can't have a full NXT because the NXT women's division is so stacked right now that you can't just use all of them.
Yeah, so Lashley and the Street Profits are gonna try to take it to the Final Testament. Carlito's taking on Santos Escobar 1-on-1. Carmelo Hayes is taking on Austin Theory, and the other match is Caden and Quintana defending the tag titles against Asuka and Kairi.
Gotcha. Okay. What was I gonna say? Dang it! I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that makes more sense because you're not going to waste them on the card. I mean, obviously you've done it a lot of times where they had a match and then they came out
Yeah.
for the Rumble. They've done that before.
This
It just
Rumble's
doesn't.
very light outside of the 2 Rumble matches. There's only 2 other matches, and they're both
Right, that's
the
what I
US
was-
title match and then the 4-way with Roman.
The what match? What was the first one?
The U.S. title match.
Right,
Outside,
yeah.
it's the 2 Rumble matches, KO versus Logan Paul, and then Roman, Orton, AJ, and LA Knight for the in a 4-way. That's it.
They might put another one, but really and truly, like, why? You can make a long Rumble match with both of those.
You can go back to a full 2 minutes to 90 seconds easily
Right.
with the show.
Yeah, so
You
I
got
mean,
the
you can do it because all we care about really and truly is the Rumble. The matches are fine. They're that you gotta have your hors d'oeuvres before you have your main. You gotta have your salad before you have your main course type of thing. But
There's so much intrigue for both Rumble matches, because there's no like, oh, it's going to be this person. It could go a lot of different ways, for both the men's and the women's.
yeah,
It's like,
is this where we get Jay Cargill? And that's going to be interesting.
yeah, it's like, are we going to see Jay Cargill finally make her debut in the Rumble? It's like, it's very possible.
Yeah. So it's good there. What was the other thing? I thought there was something else I was trying to say. Yeah. When I was looking up, so real quick, Logan Paul signed another contract with WWE. I don't know in this contract if he's going to be fully full-time. It's just hard for him to do with all the other stuff that he has going on. Now, I know he stopped doing boxing and he wants to do WWE stuff full-time. And he's got the bug. We all know that. He gets it.
Yeah.
So, I think, and plus they probably were saying that's probably what the new contract was like, hey, if you're going to have the strap, I know Roman's part-time, but Roman's been doing this for a while on that. So you can kind of Sean Ross did not detail about if it's full-time contract or what the numbers are. It's just that he renewed his contract, which I didn't realize. I thought he was going to be a lot longer contract than it was, but who knows with that. But no, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the longer Logan Paul is in the WWE, the better entertainment we have because dude's good.
Ironically.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying that. But yes, I enjoy Logan Paul being in the WWE than not being in the WWE.
I like the promo that Cross cut on the Profits on the Blash of the Profits this week. I thought that was really good.
The Pride? You got to come correct now, Justin. It's the Pride. It's so weird. Just call him the Hurt Business. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. It was just be the Hurt Business. But yeah, and I like that it's official that Angel and Humberto with Santos are the new Legado del Fantasma. They it's like that's what they were billed as when they came out. So
yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see where this feud between the new Legado del Fantasma and LWO goes.
Andrade.
I think it feels like they're just spinning the wheels until Ray can get back in the ring.
Andrade.
Yeah, that too. Oh, that's another thing. We might see Andrade in the Rumble.
Oh yeah, that would be a good pop. For that, but yeah, and it's going to be like the whole thing of like them trying to court Andrade to each side.
Yeah, I think that would add some good intrigue. Like, okay, who's he going to side with?
Yeah. So I mean, it just makes the most sense. People are like, oh, it's just because he's an OT. Like, no, they've been talking about, and he's Andrade. Like, it makes the most sense with what you would do as starting out because it's not like they're featured.
This is
prominent
Latino Lucha stuff. It's Latino Lucha business. It's like
So it's something I would tune in for. If you just had Andrade with, insert wrestler, it's fine. It's still Andrade. I'm still going to watch, but I'd be more intrigued as far as storyline wise with the whole. Help me out. What was the name again? With the Santos. What they call it?
Angel Garza Buta Carrillo.
No. I'm saying like what's their group name?
Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, I know that was an NXT thing. I haven't got.
It was.
I know Legado and then obviously the LWO, and so that's a solid feud that you can still stretch out for a little bit. And I'm still loving the character work that Santos is doing. I didn't get it at first, but then once he went full heel and the way he presented himself, all right, you got me, dude. I'm tuning in. Especially I wanted you to win that tournament just because you were doing something.
Yeah, no.
But you couldn't deny Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. That's just a better.
No. That's a matchup that they had to go with. It's just too good.
Anything?
No, I think that goes it for SmackDown. It's all right show. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to kind of say it was fine. Let's move on to Raw. Let me find the thing. There it is.
All right. Here's a recap of what happened on Monday Night Raw on USA Network. Raw opened up with Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, coming out. Big ovation and love from the fans. Seth holding back tears, appreciating the support from the WWE Universe. Seth then confirmed the reports that over the weekend that and last week that he did indeed tear his MCL and damage to a small tear his meniscus as well, and then he was going to need to get surgery. Doctors are telling him that with the surgery, he was probably going to be out at least 3 to 4 months, but he is going to defy those plans, and he plans on being able to be ready to wrestle and defend his title at WrestleMania. Suddenly, Intercontinental Champion Gunther came out. The ring general and Seth exchanged words. Gunther gave Seth a lot of compliments and props for being a fighting champion, but warned Seth that he is going to win the Royal Rumble this year, and that when he does, he will choose to face Seth for the title at WrestleMania. And the two ended up shaking hands and parting without fisticuffs. Then we had tag team action, New Day versus Imperium, to continue the grudge feud that's been going on lately. And that's going to keep going because this match ended double count out. Two teams brawled into the crowd, and New Day ended up putting both members of Imperium through tables, much to delight and a holy bleep chants from the crowd. Then we had Ivy Nile taking on Valhalla and defeating her to get another win. Nia Jax came out for another promo, hyping up the Royal Rumble, planning on winning it so she can get her hands on Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. First, Becky Lynch came out to interrupt her, saying that she's not sure what she's going to enjoy more, winning the Rumble for a second time or seeing Nia lose and not win the Rumble at all. Then all of a sudden, Bayley showed up as well, talking trash to both ladies, saying that she's going to win the Rumble and challenge Rhea at WrestleMania. That led to all three women getting into a fight with each other, and Nia ended up doing a big leg drop on Bayley right in front of Becky to close out that segment. And then we had Dirty Dominic Mysterio Judgment Day taking on The Miz. Thanks to Judgment Day, Dom came out on top on this one and won the match. Before Judgment Day could do a big beatdown on The Miz, DIY came to the rescue and made the save, sending Judgment Day off. Then we had Ivar taking on Chad Gable, and Ivar got the win this time. Good match. Great stuff between these two guys. Then we had one of the highlights of the show that everyone was looking forward to, face-to-face promo battle between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes over the upcoming Royal Rumble match. It started off friendly at first, but then eventually they started taking shots at each other and basically saying that each one's proclaiming that they're going to win the Rumble and finish, go to WrestleMania and get their title match that they want. And it was very intense, very well done. Then we had some more women's tag team action. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark took on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and the heel team came out on top on this one with Zoe hitting Candice with her finishing move to get the win. Then we had our main event, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, set up after McIntyre prevented Damian from cashing in last week. So at one point, R-Truth came out to ringside to give Priest his cut of the merchandise money, but Priest shoved him to the ground. Truth kept trying to give Damian the money, which ended up distracting the referee when he hit South of Heaven and wasn't able to get a count from the ref. R-Truth kept the ref distracted, and after Damian finally had enough and basically attacked Truth and tossed him out of the ring. But as soon as he turned around, he got hit by a Claymore kick from Drew, and that was enough for Drew McIntyre to get the victory and close out the show without much fanfare, which is a little unusual. But that's all that happened this week on Monday Night Raw.
So it's just pretty much a light show. They didn't feature one of the greatest promo exchanges we've seen since like Cody and Heyman, maybe.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's like the first time I was like, I don't think I've seen like two back and forth that are just, jetting each other, standoff. But that promo with Cody and Heyman, that was the first time I was like, I was getting goosebumps with it. And this kind of reminded me, like McIntyre, Cody was great. McIntyre.
Everyone
Cody,
who's been promoing off of Punk has crushed it. So it's like, he's bringing up the best people.
Yes, but this was the first time. Now I know he was fine against McIntyre. He really didn't say a whole lot against Seth. This is the first time you really got the back and forth, jab. No one's giving anything. The build of them, like literally CM Punk shook hands, whatever, all buddy, and at the end of it, they're I'm gonna rip your head off, type of thing. The crowd was dead. I don't like this thing is the crowd wasn't popping for anything. There were like so many cool one-liners, especially of when he was like bringing up, like when CM Punk was like bringing up The Rock, but you knew he was bringing up The Rock, but then he said CM Punk, and he was like, it's me, but people knew but no one popped to that. I'm like, guys, is no one following anything? And then Cody with his jabs, it was just if you do a promo class of how to build and how to make money with a promo between two superstars, show them this.
Because it was it's like it started off where like they start off friendly, but then it just started escalating when they started taking shots at each other. And man, it's like between the I'm the more of American Dream than you are, and I loved how Cody came back with it's like the pipe bomb. It's like you did the pipe bomb, but then you left, and I picked up and did what you said you were going to do. So that makes me more CM Punk than you. And it's like, and the crowd was like, "Oh,
yeah." That was a great bar there, where he was saying,
the crowd was very interesting. The crowd was not torn. It's very obvious that the fans love Punk and they love Cody. They love both these guys a lot. So it was, they kind of booed when they were taking shots at each other because they don't, it's like they don't like to see them dissing each other, but there was no like one was more popular than the other. It was very like it's like we like you guys. It's like it sucks that you're not happy with each other, but we get it. It's like and just the face to face at the end where they're like nose to nose and looking like they're gonna throw down, but then they chill out a little bit and they back off. It's like fantastic stuff between Cody and Punk. It's like
fantastic and kind of. Oh, I was going to say something. Oh, and the thing is there are some people. Obviously, you're not going to please everybody, but as far as the baby faces that we're getting these days, and Cody being the number one overall, I think you can't deny that he is the number one baby face. He's worked the most. He's worked his butt off. That being said, but then you go back. You had the John Cena's and the Roman Reigns, right? So at one point, John Cena, people were like, I don't like this guy anymore. The Roman Reigns, we never liked him, but you're shoving us down his throat. Cody not only seems more organic and over, but he does all the right things outside of the show in the wrestling ring that makes him even more likable. Yeah. So it takes that to get that over as a babyface. And as this type of, say your prayers, eat your vitamins type of babyface, not the stone cold anti-authority, because that's going to win everybody over.
No, he's like a classic babyface. And like the fact that, despite not beating Roman last year at WrestleMania, like he should have.
Still, every day that goes by, especially what's going on with WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I'm going to get on a tangent, but still, to this day, it makes zero sense. You could not tell me that. You will not win this argument against me.
No, it's like he can't justify it anyway. Despite that, despite everything, that it's like they are still behind him. It's like they still love Cody. They're still behind him. It's like. So it's a testament to both Cody and the book and either in the booking that it's like he's still as popular as he is. So so yeah, this was fantastic. the Gunther coming out to talk to Seth, that really shocked me. I did not expect that, and it's like I'm just like, oh my god,
It's about time.
we haven't had Seth versus Gunther at all.
It's like, about time.
It's like ooh, that match would kick ass.
And the
It's
way
like,
they went in from that face off to the New Day Imperium match and was so clean.
Yep.
And it showed that Gunther has bigger sights than dealing with New Day and like all that stuff. So it made Gunther even that much bigger. So it was that subtle it was that subtle booking storytelling.
Yep.
That you just hardly that I love so much from what Triple H is doing.
Yeah. It clearly showed that he's still the Intercontinental Champion, and it's like he's got the record right now. He's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever. But he's got his sights on the world title. Mm-hmm. It's like he's looking for to take the next step up the ladder. And so that adds a whole nother like, could Gunther win the Rumble? It's like it just adds another layer of intrigue. Like with it's like the possibilities of who can win. It's like. And he showed he can go. I mean, like he broke the longevity record last year, going starting at number 1, went an hour and 10 minutes before Cody was able to finally toss him out. And Gunther and Cody had one hell of a mini match in the Rumble last year to close out the match. It was freaking awesome. So
these are the odds right now. As far as Bet Online, this came out today. These are the odds right now as far as who's going to win the Rumble.
Putting The Rock in there having him win would be one of the most dumbest mistakes they could ever make. That would just piss everybody off.
But you still Bet Online still going to put something because it's The Rock, and with all the stuff with TKO and stuff, you're like, you think he's gonna no, he won't. But he better not. It should be.
Those 3 make sense. It's like at this point,
those 3 make sense.
It's like it could go either way. I don't know. I thought for a while that most likely it was Punk, but it's like with Seth's injury. That throws a lot of things in question. It's like they could go in a different direction. Now, Punk and Seth could still happen, but I like how people are saying I like how they're making the Rumble important, but there's also the Elimination Chamber. Like they have the Elimination Chamber matches to get yourself a title shot at WrestleMania. So it's like, winning the Rumble is great, but you're not SOL if you don't win the Rumble.
What are they going to do with Damian Priest in that briefcase?
He's going to, at some point, he's going to do a cash in. It's going to fail. Now, remember, it's like he has until Money in the Bank in Toronto this year to cash that in.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it's a full year.
I thought it was WrestleMania. I thought it was WrestleMania. Good call. Thank
remember, that Seth cashed in at WrestleMania in one of the most legendary or Mania moments ever when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase during the Brock and Roman WWE title main event and won the title as a result. So it's like
best cash in. Then number 2 would be Dolph Ziggler as far as impact.
Yep. So he's still got time to cash it in. I just don't think it's not going to be successful at this point.
What are your thoughts on Ivy Allen Valhalla?
Not good.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing, but I was just waiting for you to tell me. I don't like talking crap about wrestlers, especially on the main stage.
I like Ivy now, and it's like, but it's just like the match was just not great. It was like it was there. It was like I'm just glad it wasn't too long.
It was so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was so anticlimactic.
There was a couple of sloppy spots too. I noticed it was just like that. I know that both ladies can do better, so it was just like, but the right person won. It's like it's obviously that they see a lot in Ivy, so she's getting a good spotlight.
I mean, Sarah Logan was the worst of the 3 Riot Squad, but she made sense for where she was. I still miss the Riot Squad. I thought they were just a great.
So it looks like DIY is going to get their tag title shot after the Rumble.
After? Okay. I'm
hoping they win.
I did like the backstage segment of Damian getting on Rhea getting on Finn.
Yes.
I really like that because they all just, hey, we got to step up.
I have a good feeling about DIY taking the tag titles because that's just going to add fuel to the fire of the Judgment Day problems they got going on right now. Yeah. It's like, because it's like Damian's going to now want to it's like he's tolerated R-Truth. He kind of likes R-Truth, but R-Truth kept getting in his way and it cost him his match against Drew. So it's like, It's like, look out, our truth.
Yeah, that New Day Imperium match was awesome. That was so fun.
That was well booked. Like usually you don't like a double count out, but for what has been going on with this feud between the two, it makes sense. So
it was fun. I really had a lot of fun with that match, and the
I
fact
like how
that
New Day was like Kofi and Xavier, like, we have the unicorns, the pancakes, the bootios, but you it's like you f with us. It's like we're going all in. It's like you do not know. It's like we will unleash. It's like you want to get serious, we'll get serious.
Yeah.
And it's like.
And I still like the little subtleties of Triple H having people walk in the background.
Yes.
Of like, what was that? So like when New Day was doing it, when Jey Uso came up and gave him the ice and stuff, then you saw Damage Control kind of walk in the back.
Yeah.
And then I forget which women's match, and Nikki Cross was in the back, just randomly doing her like weird stone face thing.
I didn't include in the recap, but I also liked that there's still they're still giving Bronson Reed a good shine. I like the promos he's cutting.
I did like that promo. I did like that. So I mean, again, Raw was. I mean, yes, the Avinal and Valhalla. There was a little, and of course, the finish at the the main event was kind of clunky to me.
It was because of the R-Truth stuff. Yeah,
R-Truth stuff. Typically, that stuff doesn't fall flat in his face. This one kind of was just like, okay, come on. This was just It didn't seem believable as much as the other stuff did. It just didn't. I don't know. It just seemed forced.
Yeah.
With that, and you were just trying to get to a weird finish. And if you have a false finish or one of those type of things where it's distraction, you kind of want to somewhat believe it, even though you don't like it. You always like to see a clean, here we go, but they also don't want to.
I also like how like it's like they're putting a shine about with what's going on with Becky about she made it clear to Rhea that I want to win the Rumble and change WrestleMania, but it's like. You got a lot of the women, and one of the biggest roadblocks is Nia Jax, and also you can't count out Bayley and Damage Control either are going to be a problem in the Rumble as well. So it's like, also it was very interesting that Rhea, what Rhea said to Becky backstage. So it's like they're really showing that it's like she's got like a hill to climb. It's like, she's one of my favorites to win the Women's Rumble. It's the only two that make sense to me to win the Women's Rumble are Becky or Bayley.
Bayley, because the Becky Rhea thing could still happen, or it might be a triple threat between Rhea,
Becky can win Elimination Chamber to get her shot at Rhea.
Right. So I think that can still happen. Where if Bayley wins the Rumble, that adds to that Damage Control story so much more.
Yeah, because it's like, she says that she will, if she wins, she's going to go after Rhea, but if things with Damage Control fall apart, she can instead use the Rumble win to go after Io instead as revenge.
Yeah. Has Bayley ever won it?
No, Bayley has not won the Rumble.
That's what I'm saying. So Rhea obviously Nia hasn't, but Nia just came back. Bayley's been kind of a workhorse. She's been in a lot of main events, but
yeah, that's why Becky and Bayley are the two women who are the favorites right now to win.
And they've been hyping up a lot of scuttlebutt online is like, Bayley saying like, this is my time to submit my legacy, stuff like that. So, and they've been releasing a lot of statements from like Becky and not Becky, but Bayley and then
because
Bianca saying like, I still want to go against Bayley this, Bayley that, like her and Bianca, and so. It just seems right storyline and where it's going with the Damage Control and all that for Bayley to finally win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I love both Becky and Bayley. Becky a little bit more, but I would love to see Becky win the Rumble for a second time, be the first woman to win it twice. But I will not be surprised if Bayley wins, because it's just what the storyline possibilities as well. And like I said, even though it's like. If she doesn't win the Rumble, she can earn a shot at Rhea via Elimination Chamber, which I think would be more actually for Becky. That would be more badass because like her winning the Chamber would make her would stick remind people this is the man. Becky's a badass. Like winning the Chamber to get to Rhea would definitely add some spice to that.
That's good. Yeah, that makes the most booking sense to me right now. Is Bailey wins the Rumble, then and then she challenges Io because of whatever.
Because it's like with Cody, where they keep putting it's like there's all these obvious roadblocks. Like he wants to get back to that main event slot, but things that are uncertain and specific people keep getting in his way, and it's like they're kind of doing the same thing with Becky, where it's like Becky's like the face off the Rhea, but like Nia beat her recently. Nia is obviously going to be a problem in the Rumble, and they got Bailey in damage control. It's like there's obstacles for her to get that match with Rhea.
Yeah.
But I think that's still going to happen. Rhea and Becky at Mania is going to happen. It's like they've been foreshadowing it for too long for it not to happen.
Yeah, so, and that's the match there as much.
It's a money match.
They could have Nia in there as a triple threat based on what Nia's done, but it's just the reason I'm saying that is just because of what her.
I could see Nia facing Rhea at Elimination Chamber. That would be a big match because Rhea's going to be on the card because she's from Australia, so she's going to have a match on the card. So it's like that would be her beating Nia heading into Mania would also be good for her.
So who would your Elimination Chamber be if Nia's not going to be in it for the number one contender?
If Nia's not going to be the Elimination Chamber, it would be, I would say, Becky, Liv if she's back healthy.
I expect Liv back at Royal Rumble. I don't know. I haven't heard anything differently.
It's not confirmed, but if people think it's possible, if she's ready to go, she'll be in the Rumble. Shayna, maybe a couple other people. Also, don't be surprised from NXT people. Tiffany Stratton has been completely absent from NXT TV lately. Ever since she lost to Fallon Henley and had to be her ranch hand servant for a day. She has not been on TV. She was not in that number one contender battle royal at all. She has not been on TV. Period. Just making me think. Very possible. Don't be surprised if you see it's Tiffy time in the Rumble and that she's getting called up.
Where are we at with Alexa? I know she just had a kid, but
Alexa, word is that it's highly unlikely. She just had her kid. So she's going to want to spend good amount of time before she wants to get back in the ring.
Okay.
Also. Naomi Trinity is a highly possibility because she just finished up with TNA, and rumors are heavy that she's going to go back to WWE. So,
okay. Hey, I mean, it still will work out, but yeah, it is.
There's ways you can do it. It's like, but anyway,
I just feel like Bailey makes more sense based off of the long story of damage control and her not winning the Rumble ever, and she's earned this.
This was a decent Raw. Like the Seth and Gunther face off and Punk Cody face offs were great. Some of them, some matches were good, some were not so good. Like Ivar and Gable was great. That was really good. Main event was decent. So it was like
New Day Imperium was fun.
Yeah. So it was a solid show, not like a home run, but it was like okay, yeah.
It wasn't like last week's show.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't like last week's show.
It was definitely better than SmackDown, but not by much.
I like how it's kind of reminds me of the Attitude Era of how well they're building the mid card.
Yeah.
With Bronson, giving Bronson some stuff. Ivar, even with I forget his tag team partner that's out.
And it's like they're slowly building both up. Both tag divisions are slowly getting rebuilt. It's like so. It's like that's why I think they got to get the tag titles off of Judgment Day to spice things up.
Yep. All right. So anything else on that? We will move on to AEW.
All right, here we go. Going over what happened this week with AEW. Nothing much major happened on the Rampage or Collision, so I'm not really going to cover those two this week. So we're going to jump right into what happened on AEW Dynamite this week. Dynamite opened with Samoa Joe coming out. Cut a promo talking about beating Hook last week in their title match. Hook came out. Told Joe that last week he won and he lost, and he shook Joe's hand, but then pulled him in close, and the mic picked up that him telling Joe that he doesn't know when or where, but he's going to see him again, meaning he plans on getting a title shot in the future. Joe says he bets he will, but for now, Hook needs to get in the back of the line, and he calls for security to take Hook out. Hook attacked some of the security guys, but eventually backed down and left. And Samoa Joe ended up joining the commentary team for the opening match, which was between Hangman and Page and Penta El Zero Miedo. Hangman got the victory over Penta with the buckshot lariat. Continued to build momentum to trying to get a title shot against Samoa Joe at Revolution. Then we had Wardlow taking on Trent Beretta of the Best Friends, the Undisputed Kingdom with Adam Cole included, and all the Best Friends were at ringside for this match. Trent put up a fight, but in the end, Wardlow gave him one hell of a powerbomb for the victory. Afterwards, tensions were high between the two groups, but Wardlow and the Undisputed Kingdom decided to head out and not to get into a fight this time. Rude Paquette hosted a sit-down interview at the top of the stage between Deonna Purrazzo and Timeless Tony Storm. Lots of back and forth words were exchanged between the two, with Deonna talking about bringing up their history and how they used to be friends, and even making Tony reveal that they had matching tattoos, showing how tight they once were. But Deonna doesn't know who Tony is anymore, thinks that the whole Timeless thing is a bunch of crap, and that she wants the old Tony to show up because that's the one that she wants to beat for the AEW World title when she gets her shot. That eventually led to the two getting into a brawl, but Mariah May helped save Tony from getting too seriously hurt. Swerve Strickland took on and defeated Jeff Hardy in a singles match. Continued to build his momentum. He and Hangman had words because after the commercial break, Renee was talking to Hangman in the back, but Swerve interrupted to crow about how he beat Jeff Hardy and that he was undefeated so far in 2024. Hangman tells him somebody will knock him down the rankings before he can get his hands on the title match. And then Renee informed them that Tony had decided that next week on Dynamite, it was going to be dealer's choice and that each of them would get to pick the match, both especially opponent, that they would have to deal with next week. Singles women's action, Thunder Rosa took on Red Velvet and got a victory, continuing her momentum now that she's back from injury. Tony Schiavone was in the ring to introduce Darby and Sting. Darby cut a promo talking about him and Sting's journey in AEW, about how the two decided to join forces, become friends, saying that Sting still has it, and he thinks the best way for Sting to head into retirement is for him and Darby to win the tag team titles together, especially since they have been undefeated as a tag team in AEW and have not lost a match yet. And they issued a challenge to Ricky Starks and Big Bill for an AEW tag team title match. The tag team champions responded with a promo of their own in the back, accepting the challenge. And Ricky promised that they were going to end Sting in his career before he can even get to AEW Revolution in March. And that title match will happen on Dynamite in 2 weeks. Then we had trios action. The trio titles were on the line as the Acclaim took on the Mogul Embassy. And the Acclaim came out on top of this one thanks to a help from their new allies, the Bullet Club Gold, as the Bang Bang Scissor Gang continues to pay dividends for both groups. And then we had our main event, Adam Copeland taking on Japanese legend from New Japan, Minoru Suzuki. It's a hard-hitting affair. They beat the hell out of each other. And eventually Adam Copeland came out on top by using the kill switch to get the victory, sending a message to Christian Cage. The Rated R Superstar offered a handshake to Suzuki, a sign of respect, but he blew him off and left the ring. Adam then cut a promo on Christian, telling him that he's coming for him sooner or later. And that was the end of the show. So that's all that happened this week on AEW Dynamite.
You know, fans aside, this was an actually solid show.
Yeah.
The crowd was dead, but the show was, I mean, it made the only thing that I really had was just like, oh, because we need Swerve on the show, what are we gonna do? I don't know, put him up against Jeff Hardy. It's like, again, it just always goes back to just put this guy against this guy. And I'm like, can you make it make sense just a little?
Just a little.
And then they finally did with Renee with the backstage where she was like, all right, you get to pick your opponent next week. I'm like, okay, well, at least that has some reason behind it.
Great.
You know, but other than that, The Samoa Joe hook stuff, I like that they're bringing back the rankings, which Scuttlebutt, the reason they dropped the rankings is because when CM Punk came in, he told Tony that doesn't make sense, don't do it. I'm like, yeah, because you just got there and you want your title shot. So, but that was a Scuttlebutt back then. I'm glad they bring back the rankings because that separates AEW's product from just another wrestling product, right? So that's kind of their thing. I've always liked that because that is an AEW thing. That is not just another wrestling company with different 3 letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I still like the Wardlow match was fine.
Yep.
It's good to see Thunder Rosa back. The graphics person that did Timeless Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo's face-off was awesome. I love that every single time the way they keep that. And
the fact that it was cut right in half between color and black and white was brilliant.
Yes. So I was really, I mean, like I said, and then like the Acclaimed, but the Mobile Indices, like that whole match made sense. And then they always have the shirts, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, that's going to sell like hotcakes. And then obviously, anytime you have Minoru Suzuki and Edge, yes, I'm not calling him Adam Copeland. Anytime they have them two going against each other, it's going to be a banger, and it was.
They beat
and
the
Minoru doesn't shake hands, so on that. But yeah, your thoughts on the show? I thought it was pretty solid. Other than the fact that the crowd was just deader and crap.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good show despite the crowd. Some really good matches. Some good advancement on certain angles. And I was surprised that they gave Trent Beretta so much against Wardlow. I thought he'd squash him a little bit more, but it's like they definitely need to have. I think one of the most important things is that to make the Kingdom a threat, they have to start winning some. Obviously, win matches, also gets their hands on some more titles. Like Strong beating Orange Cassidy for the international title makes sense to me. It's like you got to make the stable strong. It's like if they keep racking up title wins, then it's like then. I mean that's why the Bang Bang Sister Gang is a thing now because they both hate the Undisputed Kingdom and so they decided to join forces against a mutual enemy, and they kind of started to get along too, which I think I'm kind of digging. So
I like that. I can't believe I'm entertained by the Guns and the Acclaim actually interacting again together. Because when they did that before, it was kind of forced. This one seems more organic.
Yeah, it does.
The way it works, and of course the Guns just getting time, getting more acclimated, and becoming their own. And so now I'm like, okay, the Guns actually I kind of buy into them a little bit more than I did before, where they were kind of pushed a little too much before they were ready. They're still not obviously totally there, but them with Jay White, I do miss Juice Robinson, but them with Jay White
hopefully
stuff,
he'll be back soon.
I missed it. They didn't put the cardboard out.
I know. I missed the cardboard already.
Yeah. So, but yeah, any other thoughts?
I think it's very highly likely that Sting and Darby are winning the tag titles.
It makes sense.
They're going to want to have Sting go out with a title around his waist. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It adds more intrigue to them versus the Young Bucks. I have to say, I really like what the Young Bucks are doing with their new heel personas right now.
Nicholas and Matthew?
Yeah. As Nicholas and Matthew. And being, dickish bosses. It's like, where's your badges?
Right. Yeah, I like their persona. And this is why sometimes this is when you separate the good wrestlers from the in-ring workers is they can put it on in the ring, but then they can switch their like Tony, what she's doing. It's like, yeah, you can switch your persona and still get over. There's different eras of your character. And sometimes when it gets stale, you have to switch it up. Tony Storm, great. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson kind of being the pretentious, they've been kind of pretentious, but they've still been the Bucks. This one seems a different version of them that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's just the subtleties of it. It's really good that I'm really enjoying and seeing where they're going with it. But yes, Ricky and Big Bill will probably drop it to Sting. They're going to have Sting go out on top.
Yeah.
And so it's good there. Anything else of where we're going to, pretty much this is all about leading to Swerve, Samoa, and Hangman in that.
Yeah, it just reeks of a three-way for the title, and I'm all for that.
I don't care. Give me those three all day.
I think those three will put on a hell of a main event.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna have a weird Hook. It's gonna be a weird like Hook and Hangman versus Swerve and Samoa Joe.
I don't know. No,
Tag
I think
team.
I think they're gonna have Hook get another shot down the line. I think they're not gonna do it again right away.
Okay. That's that old school WWE. It's like, oh, we've got like 4 guys in the title picture. Let's put the 2 faces together in a tag team match against the 2 heels. And I think every time they did that, like I was still watching it, but it just took away from that matchup that I was going to pay money for that pay-per-view. But I just kind of want to throw that out there. Does that make sense? Like it just took away from that face-off that you were going to get when they would do those old school like tag team, these 2 faces versus these 2 heels. We want to see what you're building to this match that people are supposed to spend money for. But if you've already seen them face off like 2 or 3 times in like triple threats and tag teams to false finishes, it dwarfs the build.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the show despite the crowd. Don't know what happened there.
I don't know. They gotta go smaller venues, man.
They really do. They really do.
It's just, and it's not like they're lacking superstars.
It's like they were really working hard to not show the hard cam side.
No, I saw a picture of Jeff Hardy through the table with not the hard cams, with the hard cam side, and it wasn't good on that. But that's a different story. The show itself was good. So it wasn't like it was. Oh, the product doesn't represent the attendance, which is weird.
Yeah,
to me. On that. So, all right. And let's wrap it up with the greatest contract signing of all time.
Yeah. Hello, I'm back one more time here to cover and recap what happened this week on NXT. All right, let's get to it. The NXT opened this week with the semifinals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, the Wolf Dogs, taking on Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Great match between these 2 teams, but Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin came out on top after Braun speared Nathan Frazier out of his shoes for the pick of the victory. They move on to the finals and will face the winner of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams versus the LWO, which will happen next week. Then we got a segment where Ava Raine came out of Shawn Michaels' office, but she wasn't alone because soon afterwards out walked one William Regal. Yes, Regal finally made his on-screen return. WWE for the first time since he came back to WWE from AEW. He congratulated Ava on becoming the new official general manager for NXT, taking over the duties from Shawn Michaels for the time being. And he told her to look out for NXT because of how NXT is so important and means so much to him. And that if she ever needs any help or advice, his phone is always open for her to call. Then we had Lash Legend taking on Ren Sinclair. Lash Legend came out on top on this one, picking up the victory. More singles action. Lexis King taking on Trey Bearhill, and Lexis King picking up the victory as well. Noam Dar and Ora Mensa were in the ring for another Supernova Sessions interview with their guest Lola Vice, who went on to explain why she turned on her pal Electra Lopez during the number 1 contenders battle royal last week. Lopez, who had been looking for Lola Vice throughout the show up to this point, came out and had words with the 2, and the 2 ladies got into a big brawl, setting up a feud between the 2 of them, probably with, I think, a match coming up next week. OTM attacked Tony D and the rest of the family in Tony's restaurant. Tony was not, of course, pleased about this and vowed that OTM was going to pay for the insult. Then we had a segment where all of Chase U's stuff was getting repossessed due to the financial hole that Andre Chase had put the university in. They took everything, including Duke's trophy and Andre Chase's podium. Things are looking pretty dire for Chase U. We'll see if Jason James' plan is going to bail them out. All right. And then next up, we had more action. Dragon Lee defeated Scripps in a singles match. Blair Davenport took on Carmen Petrovic, and Blair Davenport picked up the victory. And then in this kind of the semi-main event, not exactly main event, but we had Trick Williams taking on Josh Briggs, set up by some stuff in the back earlier. Trick Williams picked up the victory. Ilya Dragunov accidentally got hit while the two were brawling outside and got pissed off and looked to get in the ring to retaliate, but Carmelo Hayes came out and prevented him from interfering with the match, and was not really happy, and there's more tension between Trick and Mel again over that. Also, Josh Briggs clothesline Trick down after the match with a very heelish move. Don't know if it's a full heel turn. We'll see what happens with Briggs afterwards. And then basically the main event segment for the show was the contract signing between Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez for their NXT Women's title match at Vengeance Day. Threw some barbs back and forth, but still showed respect. They signed the contracts and then shook hands afterwards with a big stare down. But as Lyra went to leave, all of a sudden her stalker, Tatum Paxley, snuck into the ring, attacked Roxanne Perez, and drove her through the table that was used for the contract signing. Tatum rushed over and gave a big hug to Valkyria, who was all freaked out and shoved her down, yelling at her about attacking Roxanne, asking her what was wrong with her, causing Paxley to get all upset as the show came to a close. So that's all that happened this week on NXT.
All right. So I watched the contract signing.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the rest of the show, was it good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of good wrestling on the show. Like I said, Braun and Corbin versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier was great. A great opening match. Lots of good stuff. I'm really loving the Wolf Dogs, as Braun labeled them, even though Corbin doesn't like the name. I'm liking this pairing of Braun and Corbin. It's working.
Okay. I did see. Speaking about that, I did see like when Corbin was like basically doing a whole lot of stuff and then putting him through a table, and like people were like, "Man, he's so good." I'm like, he's been this good.
Yeah,
it's just been booked crappy and presented. Like he's always been great in the ring.
Yeah,
and he's safe. So I you know me, I'm not like, oh, Baron Corbin's like the greatest thing ever, but I'm always going to back him as a solid addition to the roster. Doesn't matter if it's on the main roster or not.
No, they're definitely. I thought Lash Legend was pretty crappy, but she's really improved. Ever since her getting to shine at during the Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline, she's definitely improved in the ring. So they definitely see stuff in her. Like in some of the other lead stuff going on. Blair Davenport's making more enemies. Dragon Lee's going to get his rematch against Oma Femi for the North American title. That should be fun.
That makes sense.
So that's another match added to Vengeance Day. The intrigue between Trick and Mello continues. It's like, things are going to explode at Vengeance Day for sure. Because I'm pretty sure that they are beating LWO next week despite their recent issues. But they're definitely going to lose to, I think, Corbin and Braun in the finals at the pay-per-view.
Does this happen Is this happen after the Rumble or before the Rumble?
Vengeance Day is Sunday, February 4th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, Vengeance Day shaping up pretty good. I liked the stuff between Lyra and Roxanne at the contract signing. It's like they handled themselves pretty well.
Lyra had a really good comeback, and it hurt me to say that, but she had a really good comeback. So it was like, when you crumbled, I will triumph, and I was like, that was a good line.
It was, yeah. It's like it was. It's like I liked the fire for Roxanne. It's like all the crap she's had to go through ever since she lost the title due to injury. It's like she didn't get pinned, for it, didn't lose in the match. It's like, which sucked. And this whole Tatum Paxley angle adds a whole lot of intrigue to this match. It's like, Lyra better be careful because the stalker could turn on her. She could cost her the title potentially. It's like we'll see.
The old female women's division stalker angle.
Yep.
Let's keep doing that one.
Yeah, I was thinking of like, you know, Mickey James being Trish Stalker back in the day,
It's
man.
pretty much what I was thinking of, and that's still just like, it's just. It went a little. Hey, it's like Vince McMahon has sexual allegations against him, and then he had that.
Well, at this point, it was kind of creepy, but it was like, you know, she was like trying to be helpful. I mean, like she, you know, like like when she was getting like 2-on-1 heel beat down, you know, she was coming out to help her.
Right.
But now she's crossed the line where she friggin' attacked Roxanne and put her through the table, and I was like, oh, I'm like, yep. Now she's on Josh's hit list after doing that. Roxanne.
She's the worst. She should be fined $1 million, thrown in prison for the rest of her life. It's fine. It's only a storyline that she's probably not that real person in real life, but I don't care. You don't attack my girl.
What I found interesting was, despite, you know, they did throw some shots at each other, but at the end, like they shook hands, but it was intense.
They're both baby faces.
Yeah.
So I mean, and actually, I thought really, I mean, this is the first time I really saw Ava just kind of being, and you know, I saw her like a couple, but like I was just like, I didn't realize, number one, how tall Ava was, unless I know Roxanne's only like 5'2".
Yeah,
but I didn't realize how tall Ava was. She's got to be like 5'9".
Yeah, you can see the Rox genes in her, all right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this because, you know, like, you know, she's been okay in the ring, so they're giving her something to do and being like a face role. But the Regal cameo was a wonderful surprise. The internet went nuts. Like, yes, Regal's back.
Right. And then just kind of going back with surprise. I don't know if you saw the Lexus King interview where he was just like, you know, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do in the other company, and now I'm able to flourish. I'm like, no crap, dude.
Yeah.
This one fits you so well. You're not buried under a bunch of
big win over Trey Barhill, Native American wrestler. It's like, sorry, Tisha. It's like he lost this week, but no, it's like I like what they're doing, building up his heel character. Oh, and we also have Von Wagner is going to challenge Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup. I like the whole segment where Robert Stone and his kids are helping him train for the Heritage Cup match. Thought that was cute.
Was Dijak on the show?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like he took him and Joe Gacy are still like in a feud.
Okay. I did like Gacy on commentary and like the reaction of Booker T. Like, what are you doing here? I did like that. He's just like, hey guys, I'm Gacy. I'm here too. And they're both like, what are you
Also,
doing?
it says a lot that even though like Trick and Mello is adjacent to the World NXT title picture with Dragunov, despite that, they gave Roxanne and Lyra the main event spot with the contract signing. So it shows how confident they feel about the two of them. You know, it's like in that title match.
Well, it's Roxanne. Come on,
yeah.
That's the reason they're there. It's Roxanne. No bias, no bias. And another thing I want to say with NXT, and I did see this nugget just to kind of cap our show here. Apparently, Shawn Michaels was on an interview, and they were saying that he was saying that they kept wanting him to cut LA Knight multiple times when he was in NXT, not when even they brought him up to the main roster. And he kept saying, and Shawn Michaels was like, no, I need him for a storyline. He was like, I don't know why they kept wanting to cut him. He's like, we couldn't get around the 3 and the 8. We just couldn't at his age. They kept wanting to cut him because he was like too old. And he was like, I need it for a storyline because he's like, he's still good. Quit looking at how old he is. And then so just how crazy and how like now. And then I did see obviously making fun of the Sports Illustrated bullcrap that came out where they were like reporting that, you know, it's going to be The Rock and then Cody's going to face like Goon.
Yeah, Cody gets screwed. And everyone's like, what the F is this shit? And then they retracted it and said, no, sorry, that was not accurate. We apologize.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
then
everyone said it was bullshit. It's like that,
right.
that makes no effing sense.
No. And then Sean Ross Sapp was kind of the same thing, but he kind of said the same thing. He was like, what? Where are you? No, this is all just here. This is all. He was like, don't report stuff on vibes. Report stuff on facts of like who you're actually.
The fact that Sports Illustrated, what's left of Sports Illustrated, retracted was a smart move because everyone was calling bullshit on that.
Well, there was a parody account that said, "Breaking, Omos is speculated to main event every single match at WrestleMania." Sports Illustrated, and they did. Someone did put that. I laughed. I was like, "That's pretty good." With all that, but anything else?
Last thing. Yeah. So last thing, for Rumble, I love KO, but I don't think Logan Paul's losing the US title just yet.
LA Knight.
Yeah, I'd love to see LA Knight or Orton win the 4-way, but it's Roman's. I don't think losing the title just yet. And then as far as the Rumble matches, my top 2 picks for both, like I said, Bayley or Becky for the women, and for the men, Punk or Cody, but I'm leaning more toward Punk. Gunther is a third wild card that's possible depending on how they feel about Seth, but we'll see what happens. It's like I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm very intrigued of what's going to happen with these Rumble matches and who's going to win. We get a very clear picture of the WrestleMania picture with who's winning these matches.
Jey Uso's winning the Intercontinental title off of him, right? Like we've all kind of
maybe. It's like I know there's some people I've seen want to see Gunther just like give up the title and not be defeated by it, but and I get that, but it's like you can't miss up an opportunity to give someone a good rub by ending his historic Intercontinental title reign. It's like he could take the loss and then he can move right into the world title picture where obviously he's ready for it. It's going to happen. Gunther is going to be a world champion within the next year or so.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Mark it down.
For sure.
Triple H loves the man. He's one of the best wrestlers on the freaking planet. I've been a fan of his ever since I saw him beat Pete Dunne for the NXT UK title at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn just before Mania in 2019 when Becky won the main event and ascended to superstardom. I was like, holy cow, this guy's awesome. It's like I've been one of his biggest fans ever since. So it's like I'm excited to see him get that due because he deserves it. He's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Punk too because he hasn't won it, and it's kind of like the whole thing is like I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble, and I'm gonna headline WrestleMania.
I don't see Cody win because like Cody not winning it just adds more to the drama of him, climbing back up the ladder. It's like because like there's still Elimination Chamber, so it's like it's like him winning the Rumble is just another roadblock, and it's like it doesn't mean it's the end. It's like he can still find his way into the main event without winning the Rumble. So it's like Rumble's just the easiest way, sort of. It's like you still got to go through 29 other people.
Right.
But
is this and I do like right now that they're pretty much keeping under wraps of a lot of people that are in the Rumble.
They have, yeah. It's in years past they've like announced like half the field, but this year like the only people like for the women, the only people we know for sure are in the Rumble match are Becky, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Bianca. That's it.
Yeah.
They haven't announced any other women for the match yet. And on the men's side, you got Punk, Cody, Drew McIntyre, Gunther,
Priest,
Lashley.
Yeah, and Priest was one of them too, I believe.
Yeah, so it's just not a lot. So it's like
a lot of speculation.
That's why, like, don't be surprised to see some NXT call-ups. Like I said,
they'll probably throw a couple on there tomorrow night.
I would love to see Tiffany Stratton show up in the Rumble.
I think she is. Her and, like we said, her and Nikita. Because they were held.
I'm not sure. Nikita might have a minor injury.
Okay.
She's been some pictures lately of her that on social media show that's got like a knee brace on, so she might have have like it's keeping her out for a bit, but who knows? Like could see Liv, could see Trinity. It's like there's a lot of like possibilities.
I think Liv's going to come back. I'm like 8.
They're definitely wanting. I think they're keeping the announcement of who's in it low to throw in some really good surprises about who's going to come out.
One of the best parts
of the Rumble.
Yeah, so I was going to say like that's one of the best parts of the Rumble is when that clock ticks down. You're like, oh, who is it? And it's the fact that if you already know who like 75% of the field is, and it's like kind of takes some of the mustard in the gravitas of it. So
I can't wait. I love the Rumble. So I'm looking forward to Saturday.
To
talk about it next week.
Yep, to me. I'm
going to be messaging you during the show.
I know. So anyway, thank you all.
Are you watching it live, or you got to wait till later? Because I don't want to spoil things for you, unless you're okay with that.
As far as I know, it's Saturday at 8, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm pretty much going. That and WrestleMania are pretty much the only two shows that. Oh, that and Survivor Series when they do War Games. Those are the only 3 shows that I try to watch live as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
So
right.
I don't remember. I think maybe
I'll be messaging you.
But the past 2 years I watched the Rumble live. So and WrestleMania. I never miss WrestleMania. I make sure to watch that. So all right. Well, if anything, thank you all again for joining us, Justin.
Folks.
Always a pleasure. Like, subscribe, join the Ruckus at patreon.com/RuckusEV. If you want to. Our channel is one of the ones if you want to, get help kind of getting into the groove of posting online and doing some videos and content and stuff like that. Join our Ruckus and at patreon.com/RuckusEV, and we will help you out and guide you along that and make great content on this channel. Hop on over to our Ruckus Discord over there. The Discord, it's open to anybody. Join over us. We talk pretty much anything entertainment-wise and mainly. But we have a great time over there. And then if you want to at least donate and help us out, we're at the Ruckus, streamvibes.com/RuckusEV. All that stuff is in the description below for anyone that wants to help out there. But for me and Justin Toner, thank you so much. It's Rumble time, guys. Get excited. Tell us in the comments who you think's going to win. Probably a lot of CM Punks. Probably a lot of, and it's Bailey. It's Bailey, guys. It's just Bailey. So Roxanne Perez. No. Soon, but it's inevitable
someday.
On that. So no, someday. All right. Well, if anything, Justin, always a pleasure, guys, and we will see you next time.